In the craft world, there is one pretty project popping up everywhere. These oversized crepe flowers add colorful decor to any event you're planning, or they even make pretty photo props and backdrops. And today, Michelle Inkley is here to show us how to make these works of art. And they are works of art. I mean, like sculptural works of art.
They are. It's kind of like those, I don't know, those big headdresses that they have on their walls that look like flowers.
Yes.
Like that's what they remind me of. And because they are a little bit time consuming, you need to treat it like a piece of art. It really is intricate and glamorous and whimsical and stunning.
So these crepe paper flowers, they're made from crepe paper. We've seen them just made out of paper before.
Right.
But how does this crepe paper make them different?
Well, the crepe paper, and I have been so scared, I've done every other kind of flower out there, but this one, because they seem so intimidating. You know, you have to use your hands to manipulate them and cut all these different separate petals. And so I was really scared to try it, but I've been following Tiffany Turner. She's an artist in San Francisco, and she makes these gorgeous flowers. And they're like installations in museums, and so they're truly pieces of art. And so I'm like, I am gonna try to do this. So I figured out how to do it, and I've kind of done it on a little bit smaller scale.
They are so fun, and you've discovered a lot of different ways to display them. You're gonna walk us through some of what you've brought today and all the different ways you can use them, plus you're gonna show us how to do them in a little bit. So tell us about this one on the wall in the frame.
Okay, so because it is, you know, it takes a little time to do, I have a frame in my office that is open to the brick wall, and I change that installation often because I like it just to be fun and whimsical, inspiring. So that's what I have this summer and spring in my frame at home. And you just seriously 3M tape it to your wall.
Oh wow,
or
that's
with
easy.
pop dots, and just stick it up in a frame that you've got, and
it
voila.
looks so good and so springy, and it's a definite change to the normal gallery walls that we all have.
It adds a little bit of sculptural detail, and I think that's the key to this art medium. It adds dimension, three-dimensional kind of pop to your gallery walls, or somewhere where you just need a little bit of whimsy in your life. I don't know, an office, a child's room, a nursery, it would work really well in.
And one,
you just need one, or you can have a whole wall installation. Depending on, you know, how many Netflix series you need to get through is how many you can make. So
I love what you've done. You've used it as a gift topper up here.
So I put a little clippy on the back of that, and you can just slide it on a piece of ribbon. If you have like a Mother's Day gift you need to give, or something special, or for a wedding. And they're so cute because it just kind of glams up the gift a little bit. And the smaller ones aren't as labor intensive. So they are a little bit easier to make, but they're still so charming. And who wouldn't want to get that?
And it really umps the volume of the gift. It makes that part of the actual gift.
It does. And then they can use it on their desk or in their office or wherever they want to do it, or put it on another gift and give it to somebody else.
It is so fun. You've also used it as a table setting, and this is almost like you don't need real flowers because you've got these ones.
I love real flowers. If I can get real flowers, I do. I love them. But when I was making these, I had them on my dining room table, and it looked so pretty. And so I thought, well, one day for Sunday dinner, I'm just going to leave them here, and that's going to be our centerpiece for our table.
They almost turned into a table runner.
It did. They went down the middle of the table. I think it would be gorgeous for like a wedding brunch, a wedding dinner, or a shower, or a table if you have, you know, a party, just to kind of put them on the back of the table, just kind of fill up holes. But yeah, they're so charming and so whimsical, and they don't die, and you don't need to hurry and run to Costco at the last minute to grab flowers. You've got them, and they'll last.
They're there to keep.
They're there to keep.
So when you've taken ones and, I'm gonna knock over your display, and a few here, but behind us you have this really large, beautiful display. Tell us about this one.
So I have a wedding coming up in a few weeks, and she wanted a paper flower wall, but it was outside in this gorgeous garden, and I thought, I think you need something a little more whimsical, a little more Alice in Wonderland, or just a bigger statement. So I bit the bullet, and that's why I tried these paper flowers, but I think they're gonna be stunning. We'll have 3 stained panels, and we'll have her wedding saying stenciled on the front, but in the corner we're gonna have this installation. And what I love is I've added some fresh greenery to it. So you can add things to it, the fresh greenery. We'll have some vines. We might tuck some of her flowers in there just to kind of make it a little more lush and a little bit more modern, so it kind of blends in with the backdrop and the kind of whimsy of the garden wedding.
I love that. And you've mixed different shapes, different sizes.
Yes, and to make it more romantic and pretty, that's what you're gonna wanna do. You're gonna wanna make sure you have a different color scheme, like 3 or 4 colors, different sizes. If you're going for modern, you probably want them all the same color, all the same size, and just, you know, really geometric. But this needs just to be really free-flowing, and we're gonna scatter a few more out to kind of stretch it out. So not like a whole wall, but just kind of a corner of it. It's gonna be really pretty.
Love it. Tell us what you need to make one of these flowers.
Okay, so it's not hard. I mean, anybody who can wield a glue gun can do this.
Okay.
Now, it just is the time. The time is all it takes. So I love this crepe paper. This is by Lilla Griffith, and you can get her online. I like her better than some of the thinner things I found on Amazon because the thicker the paper, the more body it gives you, the more you can stretch it.
So do you have to do less layers if you have this thicker, or no, not really?
No, I would just many layers as you can possibly handle.
Okay.
do, because that's what makes it full and beautiful and luscious.
Okay.
So grab one of those petals. If you want to create that body and that movement, and this is what's different than the crepe or the like cardstock, you really can't create dimension unless you roll the tips. Right. This, if you pull on it, you can kind of pull it in the middle. Can you see how it makes like these little cup shapes?
And you pulled it pretty,
yeah,
I didn't pull it as hard as you, but it does like.
You can pull it and create that, and you can create just like a little cup right there. You can keep pulling it and open it up a little bit so the petals are a little bit deeper and bowed all the way down. So there's a lot of ways you can manipulate this depending on the flower petal shape. Some of the bigger petals, like more of the roses, you can just, you know, pull each one of those.
So you're just pulling the actual edges on those ones.
So the edges give kind of a little ruffle. You can also kind of pull it in the middle too, so that it kind of curls around. Because in nature, everything is very, you know, it's not symmetrical.
And it's not perfect.
And it's not perfect, and things are dying, and things are growing, and so they're different sizes. So you want it to look very organic. So you can just pull and manipulate those any way you want.
Okay.
So then once you do that, and I like to cut all of mine first, like all couple hundred petals.
Okay, so you're cutting all at the same time,
and you know
getting
what?
them done
So
and out of the way.
Is you can cut layers. I mean, you can just put some stencils and cut through this whole stack if you've got some heavy duty scissors.
Yeah, so that saves a lot of time.
A lot of time, and they don't need to be perfect. So after you do that, then you want to kind of manipulate each flower. So you take the bottom and you just kind of squish it. I don't know, is that technical? Squish the bottom? Squish it together.
There you go.
I mean, it's really hard, right? And then a dab of hot glue, and I like to put the petals in between each other. So you'll just have a layer of petals on the bottom, and then the next layer on top of it, just kind of center them in between the petals.
Okay.
And keep going. And that's how I made this dahlia, is I would just keep putting these little petals on, and the closer you get to the middle, then you start picking up your smaller petals.
Okay.
And just kind of get smaller and smaller.
So how many different sizes per flower?
We'll have that up on a tutorial on my blog, but I like to do something for this, not like 4, like not that many. Something for a bigger one you might want more, or for the roses, there's some different shapes and sizes. But you can start from the middle as well. So if you're doing like a cabbage rose, something like this, then you want to start in the middle with a little styrofoam ball and move outward. So there's a couple ways you can do it.
Okay.
But once you start gluing, I mean, a couple blue,
The sky is the limit.
The sky
you can
is
really
the limit.
make any variation you want. And you have all of these tips on your website?
Yeah, I'll have a blog spot up so that you guys can come and see the tutorials, see the shapes of the flowers. Maybe I'll email you if you need the petal shapes. I can go ahead and do that too. So.
Okay, thank you so much. What a fun project, and what a lucky girl to have those at her wedding.
It's gonna be so fun.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.